Now, Russia has signaled the conditional readiness to end the war in Ukraine, with President Vladimir Putin saying that Moscow would halt fighting if its security guarantees are met, while questioning Kyiv's readiness for peace. European Union leaders have agreed to a 90 billion euros defense support for Ukraine, even as the conflict shows new reach, with Ukrainian drones striking a Russian tanker deep in the Mediterranean Sea. With negotiations and military action unfolding side by side, prospects for peace remain unclear. DD India's Nishchoy Roy reports.
As efforts intensify to end the nearly 4-year-long Ukraine conflict, Russia has signaled conditional readiness for peace. At his annual press conference on Friday, Russian President Vladimir Putin said Moscow would stop the war immediately if it receives security guarantees, adding Russia has no plans to attack Europe.
It was Western politicians who created the current situation with their own hands and continue to escalate it. They constantly say that they are preparing for a war with Russia, but you personally have been living here in Russia for years. You understand, as do those who talk about war. Are we really planning to attack Europe? What kind of nonsense is that? We are ready to work with you, with UK, with Europe in whole, with US, but on equal terms and mutual respect.
Putin said Ukraine is not fully ready for a peace deal, though he noted limited signals of possible dialogue, while stressing Russia's terms remain unchanged from those he outlined in June 2024. Putin said Russia had agreed to compromises sought during his August summit with US President Donald Trump, adding the next move lies with the West and Ukraine.
It is entirely incorrect and unfounded to claim that we reject anything. The ball is entirely in the court of our Western opponents, primarily the leaders of the Kiev regime.
President Putin also said that Russia is ready to consider guaranteeing security and refraining from strikes deep into Ukrainian territory if Kyiv holds elections. Meanwhile, EU leaders on Friday agreed to borrow funds to support Ukraine's defense for 2 years, avoiding the use of frozen Russian assets due to divisions. Ukraine will repay the loan only if Russia pays reparations, with Hungary, Slovakia, and the Czech Republic exempt from obligations. EU institutions will continue to work on a separate loan plan linked to frozen Russian central bank assets.
The member states have agreed to finance the Ukraine through EU borrowing on the capital markets for an amount of 90 billion euros for the next 2 years. We will do this by way of enhanced cooperation that is backed by the EU budget headroom and based on an unanimous agreement to amend the MFF. Similarly to the reparations loan, very important here, Ukraine would only need to pay back the loan once it receives reparations.
For the first time on Friday, Ukrainian drones struck a Russian Shadow Fleet tanker in the Mediterranean, causing critical damage. As conflict and diplomacy move in parallel, the path to peace remains uncertain. Nishchoy Roy's report for DD India.